Haha! I didn't even put myself into the stream. That was pretty funny. All right. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to try to do a little tutorial on to maybe do some video editing and or photo editing actually. I do a little bit of stuff on my iPad, and I thought I would kind of try to share that. I'm just working out the bugs. I had it working earlier, and then the next thing I know, it's not working. So there, I finally got my iPad screen up. Let me take that down really quick. So anyways, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Anybody that's out there. And I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'll just talk a little bit about my collecting. So I don't know if you guys saw, I had gotten this horse yesterday. This was part of the Lord of the Rings package that I got. And it's kind of interesting because before I get started with this photo editing, I got a couple of boxes yesterday delivered, and it was basically that horse, this horse. Let's see, I got another horse. I got this other saddled horse, and it was like just 2 boxes of Lord of the Rings figures. So there's quite a few Lord of the Rings figures in there, and the horses were really what I was after. But I'm going to go through those boxes and see what I got in there and like what I could kind of make out of it. So anyways, just to get started and to sort of talk about this a little bit, I was on YouTube earlier because I was trying to make sure that I had this stream planned for a while, but wanted to make sure I wasn't walking over anybody else's show. Anyways, so I did get this Lord of the Rings set, and it had quite a few figures in it, as a matter of fact. So it's kind of interesting. It had like a bunch of, a couple of these, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, like, I'm going to go through it, and I'm thinking about making some custom figures out of some of these, like, figures. It seems to me that, like, they sort of lost interest. People sort of lost interest in the Lord of the Rings figures, but I mean, they're scaled pretty good. These are the 6-inch scales, and you got some of all sizes in here because, of course, you got like the hobbits and stuff like that. And there's plenty of accessories. This is where I got like the horse. But anyway, so here's like a little boat. And of course, I got the horses that I showed a minute ago. And there were 3 of them. There's a white one, that brown one, and I saw that Josh over at Captain America was talking about wanting to get like a Pegasus for his Valkyrie. I thought that was actually a really cool idea. And I was thinking, like, I wonder how hard it would be to like 3D print some wings and just kind of attach them to this, or even buy some of those 1/24 scale wings to go on like one of these existing horses. I think that could be like a really cool idea. But anyways, what I wanted to do was I was going to do a little how I do some photo editing on my iPad. I'm not like a great animator or photo artist or anything like that, but I do try to do stuff that's inexpensive. So I don't go crazy, and I don't like sign up for like these subscription apps and stuff like that. I just don't like the whole subscription model. I didn't like it when Adobe started doing it, and it was one of those things where I started looking for alternatives to Adobe just because of that. And I really did like that suite, the Adobe suite. So what I started doing was I started looking at Affinity Photo and stuff like that. It was like you buy it, you own it. Anytime there's upgrades to it and stuff like that, that's your app, or that's your program. But I found this program So that's kind of what I like to use. So I'm going to share my screen really quick with my iPad, and I don't think there's anything personal on there, but you'll see that I do have some different apps. So pretty much the 3 apps that I use are this one right here, which is the Affinity Photo. Now I did have to pay for that outright, and now that I own it, I'm good. I'm good to own it. So this Lens FX I use, and then way over here I do use this program called Glitch to add some sort of a filter typically to the photo to hide some of the photo editing. So basically I'll start off with Affinity Photo, and when it opens you're going to see I got all kinds of crazy stuff here because I've been making like thumbnails and stuff like that. I will do like different stuff for people when they post their pictures and stuff like that on Twitter. I'll pull them down and then try to edit them for them. So you'll see like in this picture right here, this was taken in front of a green screen, this photo. And so there was no way for me to really filter out this like green without filtering out the green on like the background, which was kind of unfortunate. But like if you look, there's multiple layers. So there's the background layer and there's the photo. And I took this in front of a green screen with a light on, so that's why it got green on the mesh. And that's one of the reasons I use that program Glitch, because it'll add like a retro type filter, and it'll kind of drown out some of that, and it will make the photo look maybe a little bit more vintage or something like that. So you'll see that like if as I scroll through some of these, they're kind of you know, like a hodgepodge of different stuff that I try, like this right here. I'll show you like this one. I did take a picture of this one on my desktop. And one of the things that I ended up doing is if I take that out, you'll see this little dark spot. That is me trying to add in like shadows afterwards. And the way that I did that was I just highlighted the paintbrush and put it on the black, and then I'll turn this opacity, which is this button right here. I'll turn that down, and you just scroll and it turns it down. And then I'll make sure that I highlighted the background, because then I can draw basically behind that. And there's different ways you can do it, right? Like, and then you just use your 2 fingers to double tap, and it kind of undoes what you had done. So this is a very intuitive like program. I really like it for different stuff. And so like here's one that I had done. It was the G.I. Joe Classified. And I think this was Red Ranger Chris's picture. And you'll see that I have like these reflections in like the water and stuff like that. And I'll get to how I did that in a second. But anyways, let's just say hi to some people in the chat. Offworld Adams here. Thank you for joining the show. Dark Lycan 81. Hello. And you guys are saying hi to each other. That's fantastic. And there's Kat. Hi, Kat. She's been here all week. I really appreciate that. I think all of you kind of have been stopping by. But so I'm kind of just talking about this app. This is Affinity Photo. I have it on my iPad. And that's what I have up on the screen right now. And I was just about to I haven't gotten into actually doing the editing. I'm just kind of showing like the program. So one of the things you'll see there's a whole bunch of different layers. So if I start turning this one off, that is the background. And then this is the people. And you can see that the image is different. And so like that's his shadow. And so that's how I kind of did the reflection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo this one right here. So let's see. Let's highlight that and delete it. So we get rid of this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this picture right here, and then right up here, I hit duplicate, or where is it? Oh, okay. See, this is, I'm not prepared. So fill layer, right? And no, that's not it. What did I end up doing here? What is this one? Boy, this is pretty embarrassing. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to duplicate this one layer, and I know there's like there was like a is it duplicate? So I just duplicated that layer, and basically, so I'm gonna like size this down, and you can see that. Oh shoot. Okay, so now that I'm here, I got to make sure that I select this arrow up here, and you can see that I can move this other layer around. So what I did was I just kind of inverted it like that, and then kind of put it like that. And one of the things, I don't really need these other characters because I'm only doing the Scarlet right now. So I can just take the eraser and I can just erase these other guys, and I'll erase most of like Scarlet. I just need her legs, or maybe one of the legs. And then you make sure you put that back on, and you can see how this kind of fully rotates. You can, okay, I'm manipulating the wrong layer, I guess. So, okay, so you can see like all I have to do is kind of like turn this a little bit. See, and it's very touchy, so you got to make sure you got the right layer. So you got the legs kind of matched up, and then I'll just erase this foot because I don't really need it. And then I go back to here and I'll just elongate it a little bit. And then what you could do is you just go up here and turn the opacity down until it's like faded in. And now you have, you can see where you got that kind of like reflective look in that water. So that's all different stuff that you could do with a photo like this. Now, basically this affinity photo I'm just using for editing an actual picture. But hold on, let's go back. Salacious just showed up. Vern School, yeah, I don't think so. This is a rudimentary school. This is all self-taught. So you can see that I have like quite a few like different pictures in here. And so what I'll do now that I just kind of went through some of the ones that I was doing, I'm going to show you basically from the start what I would do. So I would first create a new document. And when this thing comes up, you can have like the presets. But if you can see the actual image here on the size is actually going to only be 6 by 4 inches. So if you plan to like make like a t-shirt or something like that, what you'll want to do is you'll want to select a much bigger frame size. So I usually go 12 inches by 10 inches into the landscape. So then basically you have an open editing board. This is called Affinity Photo. So Vintage Toy Rush is here. He's asking what the software is, and this is Affinity Photo. So it's on the iPad. They also have like a MacBook version, but this is the one that I like to use the most because I think it's the most intuitive, and I actually use it with the Apple Pencil. I do like the feel of this pencil, but I'm pretty sure you could probably get it if you're using a different kind of a tablet, or even the Surface or something like that. So anyways, the first thing that I would do is I will go to the 3 little dots at the top, and then it gives me a whole bunch of options, and I typically will go place and place from photos, and it'll pull up kind of like my photos. So I'm going to just pick like, say, let's see, I'm going to try to find, okay, so here's a picture that was actually taken by Red Ranger Chris. And then you just click and drag, basically, not click, but you press and drag. This was taken by Red Ranger Chris, and he posted it on Twitter. And the reason I'm using this is because for the most part, this has like kind of 2 different ideas along with this picture. Yes, Josh, class is in session. You're late. This is our time though, so if you got a pizza, we'll share it. So there's this button that looks like an eraser, and the thing is you can just click on it, and this will change like the size of the eraser. And I hope you guys can see that there's like a little faint circle that's getting bigger and smaller on the screen, that will be the size of the touch point. And then you have this right here, which changes the type of brush that you'll be using. I usually leave that alone. But the other thing that it has here is it has an opacity. So like if I go to erase something and I change that opacity, it won't erase it totally. It'll just leave like some of it. So I do that if the character is like standing on something and I happen to capture some shadow with the lighting that I had, I'll do like a 30% opacity and I'll erase the shadow so that when I superimpose it onto a background, that shadow will already be there, and then I don't have to really do anything like that. Let's see. Vitor 3D. From Brazil. I don't speak Portuguese. I'm so sorry. But welcome to the show. Oh, you got a hall pass? That's good. All right. So right down here is this eraser. So there's two kinds of erasers. There's an eraser brush and a background erase. So the reason why I selected this picture that Red Ranger Chris posted was because he's got like a very kind of white background. And there's some areas of the Boba Fett that have like some real light colors. And this gray right down here on his pants and the gray on the background are very, very close. So I'm going to select this like background erase, and I'm going to do this right up here in the gun. I'm just going to highlight it. So if I start here in the background, you can see that this is very intuitive where it starts erasing the background and leaves the gun. Now there are shadows in the background which prevent it from getting the whole thing like that, right? But you can go in and touch that up and we'll do that. But like right down here, if I were to do that here, you can see like right in the pants, it took some of the leg away. So the way to undo on this program, it took me a long time to figure it out. You just put two of your fingers together, and you can't really see it, but like, oh, well, maybe on the little screen. So here's the iPad screen. If you get two of your fingers and you just tap the screen, it undoes what you had just done. So what I'll typically do in a picture like this is I'll just try to go around the rest of it just to get close to the image, just to like be able to get like as much of the background as possible where I know that it won't take away like the character. Like it'll definitely work around these feet and the stone, and then right here and right here, because these are like different colors. And then what I'll do is I'll change this opacity to be much smaller. Not one, no. And then you can go in and just be careful and then lift up the pencil often, because what happens is when you do like the undo, it undoes everything from the last time you lift up from the pencil. And you know, you could use your finger. So I'm going to do this with like my finger. This is like my finger doing it, and I still got the same touch. So if you don't have like an Apple Pencil or whatever, you don't really need it. And you can turn that opacity way down and your finger will still get in there pretty good. And then you can just zoom in on the actual picture. And then this is like my finger. So I'm showing you kind of exactly, this is exactly mirroring my iPad screen. So I'm only seeing what you guys are seeing. And I'm using actually my finger right now to like erase this, just because I wanted to show how you could do it. And then like getting right up in here like that. And some of this, you don't have to worry about like, well, I don't worry about it, but I mean, if you want to be like really perfect, the unfortunate part about this is like some of the stuff doesn't really come off that well without some very good detail. Like if you look right in here, you can see a little bit of the haze. So like I'll have to switch to like a regular eraser brush. I know this is seems very time consuming, but with this program, it takes a lot less time than it would if you were using another kind of a program. So I got that eraser brush out and I'm just erasing the rest of the background. And I can go pretty quickly out here because it's far enough away from the action figure, which is basically the center of the photo. And I don't have to worry about like taking off too much. So I'll do as much as I can here without getting too close. And you know, like what I was talking about with this, the drywall had some shadows in it. So then what I'll do is, since I'm on the regular brush, I'll go in and I'll lower that and I'll just go in and try to do some detail around like the head to make sure that I don't take anything off of the head and the missile. And this is an Affinity Photo. It was like a one-time pay for use. And it was one of those things where there's no additional fees ever, right? So, and there was like a package when I bought it. I don't know if they still have that package, but it was since I have both the iPad and the MacBook, it's like for use on. You see what happened here? This was a long time ago. Those fingers kind of went away, and I didn't notice. So if I were to try to undo that, I'd undo everything that I did. So I'm going to show you what I would do to sort of fix that situation at this point, because there's no way I'm going to undo like all of the background. So there's a couple of different ways you could do it, right? I could totally add the picture again, erase everything but the hand and stick it there. Let's see. Are you being cheeky, monkey lizard? You call that crotch still region? You guys are funny. Rubbing fingers, yeah. Oh, it just so happened that that's where I was using. You guys are just so bad. That's really funny. I should have used my fingers somewhere else, I guess, right? Could have avoided that whole situation. But anyway, so I'm not worried about this flame that much because this is kind of the flame that came with it. And when I get to the other editing app that I'm going to use, I'm gonna kind of change the flame. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm up here and I'm just kind of erasing this. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to do it like that. You can, well, you know what? I am going to worry about it because it didn't look right. There. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with this. There's a clone feature and it's right there. So if you push right there with your finger, you'll create where you're going to make the clone. Oh, that was too big. And you could theoretically just add in the color. And because it's so, you know, that's not really a big like visual area, you're not really going to notice it that much. So you show us on Bobo where he touched. Yeah, you guys. This is part of the permanent record, people. All right. Right? That's how I feel about it. So anyway, so now I got this Boba Fett and he's completely, almost completely removed from the background. Now I will go back to this place from photos and I will go back into my photos and I will find this background. You can see I've done this before. I will take this background and then you just click and drop it. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure Boba Fett's on top. So you just click and drag it underneath the other layer, just like most software, which I think is pretty cool. And then you can resize this. And you want to make sure that if you're using like a picture for a background, that you want the picture to be big enough to where it won't like blur out or get pixelated. So look for a larger size picture. Stay away from the 600 by 400s. Get at least a 1200 by 800 image for a background. And then you'll be happier that you did that because it'll look a lot crisper and cleaner. So here's the Boba Fett, and I'm actually going to resize him a little bit so he's like right up front. And then with the background, you can kind of tell that there are some areas here that kind of got missed. So I'll just make that a little bit bigger, and I'll go through and I'll kind of haze this out a little bit. And then you can see right here, this is right under his jacket. You can see that the stand that he was being held up on is right here. So this is where you can detail with like the clone brush. So I will pinpoint that clone there, and then you can start just sweeping some of that. And then you want to move the clone brush when you're doing like a different area. And you can see where I'm just like sweeping that in and blending it so you don't really see that stand anymore. You do see a little bit of it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually try to bring this cloak down a little bit. And you won't really notice this that much, because what happens is when you zoom out, it almost looks like it's supposed to be like that. Okay, you guys, let's see. Cheeky. Shouldn't be punished. Let's see. All jokes aside, this high quality content, I think everyone can up their figure photo game with these valuable skills. Thanks, I appreciate that. And it's emoji language. I'm going to have to learn that one day. Josh, how you doing? The other Josh is here. I'm not going to ask you how the movie was. I know you saw it last night. I have to wait. No, we're not going to spit roast anything. As Salacious would say, monkey lizards are for eating. No, to keep you alive. No, that's not what he would say. Something else. But anyways, monkey lizards are for life, something like that. And you have to eat them to stay alive. I don't know. So anyway, so now you got this like image here, and you got it on top of this background. So I think at this point, I think we're going to move on to my second photo editing app. So what I'll do is I'll click this button here, this one that looks like the drop down, and I'll hit export. And then I bring up this where you can like convert it to a JPEG and do all kinds of stuff to it. I usually don't do any of that because it makes it pretty simple just to hit share and save image. And then pretty much I've left this as it is in case I want to make some changes later, like if I want to change the background or something like that. And then I'll just go to my photos, and you can see right down at the bottom, this is what the photo looks like, and it's in my photo album. So I'll swipe up, and then I use this program called LensFX. And I believe this was either 99 cents or it was, I don't know if it was 99 cents or $4.99 or whatever it was, but it comes with some pretty good effects that are available in the program. So let's just hit new, and I'm going to select that most recent image. And you can crop it at this point. If you wanted to make it like a vertical picture, you could actually like just change it to make it like vertical. I'm going to leave it as is because I want to do some extra stuff in this picture once I get this open. So then I'll hit done, and I have this picture here. Now, it's not very intuitive in the fact that I can't like use two fingers and make the picture bigger or anything like that. But when you get to the mask option, then you could kind of zoom in. So this app works with layers. So there's a whole bunch of different layers here, and then there's a whole bunch of different effects. So there's dinosaur effects. If you wanted to add a dinosaur into your picture, they have some pre-planned dinosaurs. There's some explosions and big explosions. There's like fire, there's smoke, there's like fire glow. And then you got like spaceships if you wanted to have like a speeding spaceship. And I did a picture for Tez. I don't know if you guys have seen this picture that he showed on Twitter a while back where his kid threw something at their big screen TV and it put a big crack in it. I actually took that picture and I hope he wasn't upset about it, but I did it like a fighter jet flying towards like the screen, firing off some missiles and stuff like that. I was trying to, you know, break up the mood because I can imagine like when you're in a situation like that, there's a lot of like tense feelings. So I thought like, oh, breaking that up and stuff like that, you know, you can kind of like maybe sort of make light of that. Nope. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Oh, and then Salacious. Yes. Do a monkey lizard picture, please. I will, but let me finish this one. We need a whole monkey lizard spread. Okay. So we're talking about cooking a monkey lizard still. Let me get some water. So this right here is like lens flare. And if you ever watch a J.J. Abrams movie, pro tip, iPhone users can adjust the exposure in the camera app by selecting a focal point and then dragging up or down to adjust. Just playing with that setting can help your photos out immensely. And you know what? That is a fantastic tip. And if you guys don't know what he's talking about, so like I got this, you can click here and then that you can lock the aperture and you can just drag that up and down with your finger and it changes that. Is that what you're talking about, Josh? For OnlyFans. Monkey lizard with laser eyes. Yeah, we could do that. So here's the Lens FX. So you got like lens flare, and this would be typical of what J.J. Abrams would do in his movies. He liked, I think, it's like something like this he would put like on everything, right? So then it comes with like weapons. So it's got like blast rays, vapor rays. It's got like lightning if you had like a picture of Palpatine or something. You got lasers. I like this tracer effect. If you've seen, I've used this tracer effect a lot. I think it looks pretty good for like laser fire. And then this is like, say, a lightsaber, and it just looks blue right now. But if you go to the, or white, but if you go to the edit, you can change the color around a little bit. So you can pick your color. And the thing is, until you change layers, any new selection that you put on is just going to pop up in that place. So there's a whole bunch of different choices that you can do here. So what I wanted to do, because we were talking about this flame, I wanted to add this fire right here. So this fire, I just turn it around and I kind of place it right on top there. And I think it looks really kind of cool, right? So I will mask this and zoom in, and then I'll change the opacity so I can see a little bit more of the figure underneath. And what I'll want to do is you could just mask some of that flame so that you could like see maybe like the hand, and then just make sure you turn the opacity back up or it's not going to look right. So you can see where like I changed it a little bit to make it look like it was just coming out of this one area. And you could see like now that I have the opacity up, what I really need to do is just change this around a little bit more so that you can see a little bit more of that gun area. So you got to be on the mask to be able to manipulate the size of the picture. Otherwise, it'll just stay like that. So then I got to make sure that I switch layers. And then I'm back on these effects. And let's see, hold on. Okay, yeah, that was the tip. And that is fantastic tip, actually. J.J. Abrams is, he is not his favorite. I don't mind J.J. Abrams in some respects. I mean, I did like the Star Trek movies. I didn't like what they did with Khan that much, but I thought it was a decent film. I did like the first and the last. So I did like his versions of the Star Wars better than The Last Jedi guys. What's his name? Ryan Johnson. But I did. Thank you, Josh, for asking. I did get the Viper this morning, and really appreciate you asking. But yeah, when I first got on this morning, did anybody else go on Target this morning? It was kind of like a 6 a.m. fiasco, but I didn't stress today because yesterday everything just popped up later, and that Cobra Trooper is still on there and still limited to like 1 per person. And so, like, I don't know how would I get like a second one? Any ideas? Because I think like that's the perfect army builder. And then like I already got some of the infantry ones, but to get a couple of those Cobra Island ones with all the extra accessories would be really cool. So, anyways, I'm gonna go to the weapons because I find that in the weapons, I do like this plasma ray a little bit for like jetpack in a way. I'm gonna do it like that, and I'm gonna lower that. And one of the things is about this is I think this is actually kind of a cool look for that. The only problem is once you situate it, I'm situating it like under where I think the backpack is. I gotta mask it like right here. So it just looks like it's coming from behind his leg, and then I got to do it again. So I do the second one, and I'll put it like right there, I think. And then I had to get rid of it on the leg and the foot. And then you can see it's like a little bit coming back, but it just, you know what? Okay, so this is, where is it? Mask. That is that. So here's what I'm going to do. I am actually going to change the size here so that maybe you see a little bit more of that light behind his leg. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add actually probably this one. Oh, shoot. You see what I ended up doing? I didn't change the, I did exactly what I said you should do. So I got to redo that. And then I'm going to change the layer, and I'm going to add a lens flare, this one right here, but I'm going to add it kind of like right there. So it looks like it's the blast, but I still have to mask everything in front. So it kind of looks like it's coming from the back, and I can leave a little bit right there. And I think it looks okay. And then I'll change this layer so I don't mess that up. But that's kind of how that's starting to look. And then let's see. They let me order. You did get another trooper? That's pretty cool. I did try to order a second one, and it canceled me. The UK, we have no news at all. Yeah, man, I'm really sorry about that. I think that like it should be pretty universal, or they should be throwing them up on Hasbro Pulse if Target's going to be doing that. Man, that is cool. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. It was like, hey, successful. And then I immediately got the email saying canceled. And the thing is, here's the thing about that. It doesn't say 1 per person or 1 per household. It says 1 per order. That's actually what it says on the website. So if you were to order like a second one, you should be able to get a second order, but it didn't let me. Let's see. Get and learn with Vern. Appreciate it. Learn tips. I don't know if I'm the master of anything like that, but I am self-taught. So everything here is me struggling with a second Viper got canceled. Yeah, see, so it does cancel you. So this is me trying to learn these apps and on my own, right? So here I am. I got Fett, and he's got, I think, the jetpack beams that I like. He's kind of firing off. I got some lens effects flares in there. I got the new flame covering up the old one. And then what I want to do is I already changed the layer. I'm going to add in my favorite tracer. And the way that I like to do this is I'll turn it around and kind of do it like that. And it almost looks like somebody's taking a shot at him and they missed. So that's one of the reasons I like using that. This is pretty universal. If you have your figure with like a gun, you can flip that around and stick that like on the front of the gun, and it looks like it's being fired. And then you just add a little lens flare on the front of that gun. But if you flip it around like that, it kind of does look like maybe somebody just took a shot at them. And sometimes I just try to find like the best place to put it. I think like just going right across the front looks really cool. So then what I like to do is, because there's like laser fire and stuff like that, I'll change this and I'll go over here to either the fire pack, which has some smoke, or I go to this explosions, which has smoke. And the reason why I like this smoke is because you could do stuff like having that billowing out of like those windows, let's say, and then you just add another layer. And then you can do this fire pack, and you could do like maybe a little tiny explosion right there. And then you got that, or maybe you just go, I don't know if I like that much. You could do like a little tiny flame. It might look like, you're doing some background stuff where you're saying, oh, okay, so he's fighting off somebody and maybe that's his base, or that's, a Mandalorian headquarters or something, and they're under attack. So I think it just adds a little bit more to the thing. If you wanted to, you could do the laser, you can do like an alien ship, and you could just, these ships are kind of funny looking, but you could theoretically add something up in the corner, and then add like another little type of a lens flare behind it. Well, I don't really like that one that much in this situation, but like, let's say, let's see. These lens flares are kind of like dull when you get them up like into that sky a little bit, but like, let's just go weapons, and I'm going to do, say, like this vape. No, not that one. Let's just do this. And theoretically, you could just go, oh, okay, well, I got this ship kind of like heading off into into the sky. I'm going to go back to the chat really quick. No ping for you, Rum. You guys are so funny. Oh, you know what? That's actually really interesting. So I'm wondering about if I just created a second account, even if it's in my name, if it would and address, if it would catch it, or if it's because it's a separate account, if it would let me do it. But that checking out as guest would be a good idea too. I think Randy Bits has stolen Salacious's keyboard. Yeah, yesterday during the whole chow down, he thought it was candy. Smith Lord. So today what I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit of photo editing on my iPad, and these are apps that are either single purchase apps or free. And I'm not into the subscription thing. I know there's a lot of subscription apps out there that make this stuff a whole lot easier. And one of the things that I'm doing is I actually am trying to figure out a way to like do all the same stuff, even if it takes me a little bit longer, but not have to keep paying somebody to have access to it. Yeah, I'm going to try that as soon as we get off, if maybe there'll still be some left. Oh, I got to go so I can order. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, so I think at this point, I got like a spaceship in the background trying to escape. I got like the building on fire. I added the flame, the jetpack effects. And basically all you do is up here in the right-hand corner, right behind the StreamYard logo, unfortunately, there's a button here that brings this up and you could just save. And it saves it to your camera roll. So going back to the camera roll, there's the picture that I did, and this is the picture that I did in Affinity Photo where I removed the background and added the space scene. And this is after I added some the special effects in that FX Lens FX. So the last one that I typically try to use, and I think like overall, I think like this looks pretty good. And you could easily just like put this up and say, hey, yeah, it's like a real sharp picture. But there are some kind of like inconsistencies. Like if you were to like zoom in, of course, you could see that that hand looks kind of funny. And then right down here, you got some glow around the knee, that type of stuff. That's kind of like unconventional. And if you really looked closely, it's like a really bad CGI movie where all the background was done in the computer and all the other pieces are actual. So I use this program called Glitch, and typically you just open that up and pop up that picture. And once again, when Glitch opens, you could resize it or crop it. I'm not going to, so I just hit the check mark button and I'm in Glitch. Now, Glitch does two things. Glitch is a program that does, you can make like GIFs and stuff out of this or short videos. So one of the things you can do just on this front screen, which is like the star, you can add like this vapor wave and you can see a little bit that it's moving. And this old TV, you got this old TV effect. And then they got like a distortion effect. They got like corrupted data, which is kind of cool. Like if you were going to make like a GIF of this, the psychedelic effect. This is a burn. They have like a bad VHS if you wanted to try to make it a GIF look like it was like your VHS is on pause or something like that. There's the binary, right? This is more like the Matrix style. You got this green monochrome. I don't use any of those typically when I'm making a photo unless I want to turn it into some sort of a GIF. I use this thing like this button at the bottom that's like the 3 circles. These are kind of just generic different filters. And you can add these filters to videos too. So I don't know if you guys watched the one where I did, hold on. I want to go to the comments really quick. Okay, so you saw lettuce tacos. So let's see where those are. Well, let me just, well, you can see everything on my screen. So if I go to my photo stream and pull up my lettuce tacos really quick, I did make these tacos the other day and they were actually pretty good. It's lettuce. I got one of these things called the Big Easy. It's a propane smoker. Basically, you add wood chips to it so you can smoke. And we cook like chicken thighs in there, and they kind of were like half crispy and stuff like that. They were pretty good. We're cutting down. It's kind of like a beginning of a keto diet plan, I think, is where we're going. Try the guest or the new account. If that doesn't work, let me know and we can work something out. If they don't cancel my second one. All right, I will. You want tacos? Yeah. Well, it's almost noon. It's an hour till noon here, so nobody else should be having dinner or lunch. I think I tried to schedule this quite around everybody's meal breaks. But anyway, so I was making those videos. They could be trying to do those videos where we did the Bad Batch, where I put the heads on us and stuff like that. I did all that on my MacBook. I wasn't able to do that on the iPad, but I used this Chrome effect for that video, And what you do is you just take the slider and you start removing the chrome effect, and it kind of makes it look kind of like cartoonish right there. And that's kind of how I got that like kind of drawing look around the faces. So with any one of these, you can like start taking away the effect. And the ones that I typically will use, this nostalgia one adds like some really good blue to it. And so I think that one actually looks pretty cool. And you can like take away some of the levels. There's this retro one. I use this one, I think, quite a bit when I'm doing it. I think it's because it mutes a lot of like the colors, like that green screen one I was showing way at the beginning. And here's a sci-fi. This one works good for when you're trying to mute out like the green screen that shines on you. There's this immersion one that's pretty good. And then I don't know why they call them like what this is with the names, but this is the Tokyo. You got Ethos, and I think this one's pretty good. This is kind of pretty muted. You get like a lot of blue over here, but right around here is where my visual kind of finds it. And then you got this Dystopia, which adds like some orange or red, and then you can just turn that down to about here. I think that's pretty good. And then the other one I like to use is the Cyberpunk one. If you turn it all the way up, it's kind of close to the nostalgia because of the purple. But when I get about halfway, I'm kind of liking the sharpness of everything in there. So to get that one, and then I'll just say save the image, and then it's saved to my camera roll again. Now you guys know that I'm shopping at Costco now. Here's my tacos again. So this is the one that I just did in the glitch, and this is the one without the glitch. So you can see there's like just a subtle difference, but typically when I'll like repost or whatever somebody's picture on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, if I've done something with it, it's between these two. And typically I'll use the one that I did in glitch. They are Josh. I think they're Josh. Vern has nail polish. Like, have capes? You guys are really funny. You got pink lipstick too. Okay. I'm not wearing pink lipstick, but anyways, you might think I am. So out of these two, which ones do you guys like it? Like this without the effect? Or do you think adding that glitch effect helps the picture at all? Because I never post the other one. I always usually just post the one after I've done it in glitch, but sometimes I'm tempted just to like stop after the lens effects, after adding the effects and just going straight with this picture. What do you guys think? So anyways, that is kind of like how I would use those three programs together. So I'm using Glitch, I'm using Lens FX, and I'm using this Affinity Photo. So if I go back to the Affinity Photo for a minute, and I'll just go back out to the beginning, Salacious was saying to do a monkey lizard one. So as you can see, like I've done quite a bit of monkey lizards. You could see with like, this was my thumbnail we did for the 3 minute and a monkey lizard. And I think this one right here, well, let's just duplicate. I don't, so I've been reusing this because we've been using, we've been remaking like our logos and stuff like that. But if I click on here and say, okay, so let me get rid of that one. And let me get rid of this one. And then I'll get rid of this one. And so like I got the monkey lizard because I was asked to do a monkey lizard one. And I can move this guy around now. And you could see like I had to take pictures from, for doing this from people's YouTube, because these guys that I'm on this show with, and Salacious can back me up on this, we are not very congenial to like working on projects together. I mean, if you it's kind of half of a joke, but almost like the truth, right? If you think about like that music video that we have as our intro, we were all supposed to participate and make like a video of ourselves dancing along to that, and pretty much that none of us did it, I think, right, Salacious? So you won't have one leg in this picture, so I'll figure out how to make that work. So you can see like what I've done here is I've already gotten most of the background out, but I had left some. So I'm just kind of touching up the picture. And I've gotten these pictures from, I think YouTube, like they were stills from YouTube, right? Like, so the problem is like right around the ears, right? Because I didn't have like a high quality picture to begin with. So to get some of this color out, I really have to like go in there, and you really have to sort of detail a little bit, right? And unfortunately, or fortunately, you can get that pixel pretty small, so you can get in there and get really good detail, and you can see where it gets really pixelated, the squares. So that's pretty helpful when you want to do like detailed work. And with the pencil, if you guys are using the iPad pencil, you can actually lay your hand down on the screen, and it sort of deactivates the screen, and only the tip of the pencil works. And this newer pencil is kind of very intuitive, because there's a thing where like if you double tap the pencil, you can see like if right up on the screen between the eraser and the brush, it's going back and forth. That's me double tapping the side of the pencil like that. So it changes it based on just double tapping. So you don't actually have to like lift your hand and manipulate something else if you're using it. I don't work for Apple. I'm not trying to sell their devices or anything like that. And I don't know how the Note works, but I'm pretty sure it's probably very similar, that pencil that works on the Note. I almost went that way, but when you get too many devices in one ecosystem, you kind of get stuck in a way. So because of the Mac and because of the iPhone and stuff like that, it was to me like a no-brainer to go with the Apple. Everything kind of just works together. You got your cloud, pictures carry over and stuff like that. So, and then like airdropping and stuff like that between devices when you shoot like a video or something. So you want to shoot it on the phone and then edit it on the computer. It's a lot easier. So you can see where like so I don't know like what to do with this picture really, but I guess what we'd have to do is we'd have to go to jet fighter cockpit. So we want to look for like some images, and I'm trying to think like where would we put Salacious? Oh, maybe like Jabba's palace. We can put you with these Power of the Force figures. You'll like that. It'll be like you're right at home. Put them on a Battle Cat? Okay. Battle Cat. So you gotta, and then that's the other part too, is like trying to find like a picture where it sort of works, right? Like, so that's a pretty small picture, but like this one, I see it kind of cuts off the top. Oh, there you go. Look at this. See, the problem with this is like, this is somebody's like artwork. So this won't go, you know, unfortunately, like it's not going to go very well because of see how the top of this Battle Cat, unless I put him back here, that's what I'm going to end up doing. So we can take Salacious, or we'll just do this. Make this guy big. And you can always crop the picture later. That's the thing about working with this. So let's see. All right, so we got Salacious on the back, and what we want to do now is you want to just start erasing the parts that would have been covered up by the Battle Cat, because obviously his leg has to go over. He's got to be sitting on the Battle Cat somehow, right? Well, see, his leg wasn't really that perfect, but so you can kind of see that you could just take pictures and stuff like that and throw them on there. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the chat really quick because I'm pretty sure I missed something. Chris. Oh, I'm back to the lipstick wearing. This is pearls, nothing else. Okay, thank you. So yeah, because I'm always like wondering, does it really need that extra set? Yeah, everybody's so friendly and nice. It's hilarious. I'm guessing you're talking about yourself. Yep. Put him on a Battle Cat. So this is kind of like this is an artist's rendition of a Battle Cat, right? So this is somebody's like work of art that I just like nullified because I put Salacious in there. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Sean, for stopping by on your break. I appreciate it. Battle Cat. Oh, okay. So you could do it like this way, right? And so you can see that I got Salacious there and it looks pretty good. But like really, I'm thinking like, what if Salacious were turned upside down and closer to the mouth, right? So the way you would do that is you would want to go here and you would want to change the opacity of that. And then you could get right in there. And then you just turn that back up. And then is that Battle Cat having lunch? Hello. Sean. Glorious. Hymns will be written. So, I mean, there's a couple of different ways if you wanted to do like a picture of like Battle Cat, right, with Salacious. Now, the good thing about this is I don't have to leave it like this. You could just use your two fingers, tap on the screen, and it kind of puts everything right back to the way it was. You just double click until you're done like undoing, and then it kind of puts it right back. And then once again, you could go to the export and export the picture. Once the share button pops up, hit share and save image. And then I'm going to go to LensFX again. I will click on that button to get a new one. I'll pull up the Battle Cat picture. And this time what I will do is I will crop this down. So to get rid of all that white background. And then you just hit done. And you got your Salacious on Battle Cat. And then let's see what kind of weapons there might be. Here's the weapons. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of weapons. It's basically just like smoke trails and that type of stuff. But I mean, like if we wanted to, this could totally be Salacious taking fire, right? We want to add like some more, I mean, because he makes a lot of friends. And then the way that I would do this is I would mask this part, and it kind of looks like now that other laser's going behind the Battle Cat. And then you add like another layer here, and then say they're really trying to get him, you just add like dismissal with the smoke, and he's so lucky that none of this stuff is hitting him, by the way. So then you got a picture of this Battleclat you just completely modified, the artist's work, added Salacious on there, and you can see he has a lot of friends because everyone seems like they're out to like get him. And he's avoiding getting shot, and Battlecat's looking pretty angry at this point. And there you have it. And then, of course, you just you could export that one and save it into your camera roll. And then the next thing you know, you got Salacious. Is the one that I use for taking out backgrounds and doing pictures. And you guys want to see me do another one? I'll just take that as a yes until you guys say no. Crossfire, massive crossfire. So what I said earlier was I open up like a background and I'm changing it to a 12-inch by 10-inch, just in case you decide you want to have like be able to print it out or make like a t-shirt with like an iron-on logo. It'll probably be about the size of like this on the front of this shirt if you wanted to do that, or upload it to Teesprings and make your own shirts, which I tried to do once. I did make a Teespring store, and I threw up some of my the photos that I edited and stuff like that, and they were a massive hit. I didn't even buy one, so that's how great that they went over. But anyway, so I took this picture earlier. Oh, you know which one I want to do? This is like Darth Vader. Now I'm going to show you this one because I took this picture the other day during after we did the head swap live stream, and I kind of like this idea of this Anakin in the Vader, and I actually put him holding his helmet. Now I have left him in that with that head, and I have him standing up next to my Palpatine that way, and I think I'm going to leave it. I know it's the use that I'm getting out of my clone Luke. I have the body. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do with it. He's headless at the moment, but the body is really cool. And I just have to figure something out. He may end up being like a Jedi Jar Jar or something like that. So this one right here is going to be a little bit more difficult, right? Let's see. Crossfire. And thank you. I appreciate it. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult because if I do this erase background tool and I just go right here and I start erasing the background, you see what happens. It just starts taking away Vader himself because the background has like that red tint and black tint to it. So it's not going to be easy at this point. So what you have to do in this situation is you're just going to have to take your time and start going around your image. And some people will just spend all their time, erasing away and erasing and then just keep moving away. And you see what happened? Like my hand hit the thing and the iPad thought it was my two fingers. So it kind of undid what I did. But to me, as long as I can like erase away a portion of this to where and it's hard right here to differentiate, is that part of the cape or is that part of the background right below by his neck? But I'm pretty sure it's part of the cape. So I do have this on the background erase just to try to help me out a little bit on the edge. And you can see like it is helping me here around his hair. So that's kind of a plus for that background erase because it really does help out in like this kind of a pinch. And then I'll just continue to go around it. And the cool thing about this is what I think about these tools in this iPad. I know like the iPad, some of the newer ones can be kind of expensive. And the pencil's kind of like an expensive like add-on, right? It's not like cheap. But like, especially for like younger people, like if I had this when I was like a kid, let's say, I probably would have I did a lot of drawing on paper. I mean, I had paper with me all the time, But this is like unlimited paper, and it's in, and then just the amount of stuff you can do, because I could be away from the house and do some drawing, but then I would have to get home to all of my colors to be able to like add the colors in, right? Whereas I can do all of this stuff on this iPad that I would have had to like use multiple things to do. And I think for like maybe like a younger person who is really into like drawing or wants to do something, I think, these tools are just, it's really awesome. And it's like a one-time expense to get the device and to get the pencil, to be able to get somebody the tool to start like, doing stuff like this. And you can see this background erase kind of is cutting into the cloak a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. As you can see, like, so what I'm doing is I'm actually just going around the Luke, the Luke, the Anakin. I call him Luke. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. If you watched my video, there were some of the Red Guardian that I did. There were so many times that I had to stop and start over because I kept referring to the Red Guardian as the Crimson Dynamo. And the reason why I kept calling him Crimson Dynamo is because he came with the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure parts. And I don't know why I kept having Crimson Dynamo in my head, and I kept saying Crimson Dynamo, and I kept having to catch myself, and then I would have to like reshoot. So if you notice that there were some editing areas in that video where it just seemed like, what's he talking about? It was probably because I called him Crimson Dynamo, had to start over, and then couldn't get my thought back to where I was, because the first cut's usually always the best for some reason. And then so you can see like it's really touchy going around the helmet. You get like a little bit of like jaggedness on there, but once you get past the hardest part is just getting around your image like that. And then you can like open this size thing up, and pretty much I'm going to change this to actual eraser brush instead of background. And then I'm going to be able to go in there and just kind of like clean the rest of this up. And then as I get closer, I'll just, you see like that was too big. So there is a point where like, because I'm using this one that's like flared out a little bit, if you look, where is it? Oh, if you look here, I got that's this little white thing that says more on the bottom. You'll see that like it's a flare, and you can see like it's not, it's like it makes the edges softer is what it does. So it's not like a clean erase. So once you get that around the edges, pretty much the rest of this is super easy to just kind of like erase away. And then I touched it with my this part of my hand, and it came, and it changed the brush, and it did the undo at the same time. So sometimes that happens, and usually like I have this like I'm holding it like how I would like draw like this. So I'm usually holding it, and I have it sitting on the table right now, so it's not kind of not in the way. But anyways, so there is the Vader with the Anakin head. And then I had downloaded this earlier. I'm going to go place from photos, going back, and I downloaded, oh shoot, where is it? Place from photos, and I got to go to my recents, and this one. So the way you get it is you click, or you just hold it down and drag it into place. And once I have it there, I'll change the order for the layers so that he's kind of in front. And I basically just threw him in front of that background. So then I'll go up here and I'll do export. And it's generating the export. It's going to be about 5 megabytes. So it is a big file. And then it's saved to my camera roll. And I think it turned out pretty good. The other thing you can do here is if you wanted to, I don't think there's any that much special effects you could do, but if you wanted to, you could definitely go in and do something like this. So I got him in here. I'm just going to go back to the chat really quick. Let's see. What? I see what you did there. Yep. Lunch. Takes 2 fingers. Crossbar. I think I'm going too far back. He needs to be more crispy. Thank you again. He needs Sith eyes. That's exactly why we're here in the FX now. So, okay, see you later. Thanks for joining us. And then Oreos. Did I have pictures of Oreos? Oh, no, you're talking about the big, gigantic stuffed Oreos. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do, say, lens flare. And I'm going to do, like, say, this one right here, which is not red. But if you click on this, you can make it red. And the reason I'm doing that is you can, like, kind of like make them really small. And then you can change the brightness down. Just to add enough, right? And then this one again, and then I'll edit it and make it red. And then go down here and just turn the brightness down. That'll just give him like that nice red look to it. And then the other thing that I could do here is I would just make like this one right here, and I will just put it right up here like that. I'm going to change this to red also. And then this is what I like to do. I'll move this off camera or off screen, but the lens effect is still there. So then I can just export that, save it into my camera roll. So you got that picture, and then here it is with like that red light that's coming out of them. And then if you wanted to, you could go back to the glitch and pull that one up, hit next, and then you could do a total dystopia, right? Something like that. Let's see. Nostalgia. You want it to like kind of darken it up, but you still have that like lighting effect in there. And sometimes like I say, in this situation, maybe not, you don't even need that effect, right? But it's nice to just be able to like go through it a little bit and just see if there's one that kind of looks good. And I'll try this one and just see. So like then we got these 2 pictures right here, which very subtly you don't see much of a difference, but like there is a little bit in the way this is kind of up here. I'm trying to like show in front of my screen, and I'm pointing to my screen like somebody's behind me. You can't see the screen, but like where, hold on. Like up here is a little bit different because this is like up here, it's a little bit crisper. And then you got a little bit more down here, but you can see how that like lighting effect, that lens flare in there kind of helps make a difference. and so that's pretty much it for the most part. And like with that Affinity Photo, it's pretty good because it's pretty fast. The way you can like be able to like take out background and stuff like that and add a new background in, and then the lens FX is pretty quick. But so I've been going on for quite a while. Thanks for sticking with me. Is there anything else you guys want to see? Oh, you know what? Let me show you this. So there's this program called Saber FX, and I'm just gonna click on that and edit it, and you can see where this is a video that Imperial communicated. And what I did was I added these lasers in here, and it's super easy to do in a way, right? Like it's just time consuming. So I didn't add any lasers to the other troopers because I was like, I think my caption was, nobody move, these stormtroopers can't hit the side of a barn or something like that. But like, let's say this guy right here in the middle was going to be shooting. I would do this clash button, and then I can add that there, and then I would just advance one frame. I can add that laser, advance one frame, add that laser. And the way you would see it is you click this onion skin and you can actually see the previous frames. And then you just go right here, right? And then when you watch that back, that's him shooting. You see where the pop of the gun and then the laser. So this is basically for making like lightsaber videos, but I just thought I'd show that really quick because it's pretty universal and you can do different stuff with it. The thing about this Saber FX is that the iPhone version is way easier to use than this iPad version because it will leave that laser on the screen, and basically all you have to do is move it around with your finger. So it's actually pretty easy to use. But I thought this was a pretty easy way to add like some laser effects. Now in this video, I think I overdid it. I put too many laser effects in here, and I think that they went too fast, right? And you can see where like they're hitting, and then I did that little thing where they're hitting the ground and leaving like the little yellow. I didn't want them to be hitting any of the soldiers just because I was trying to prove a point that stormtroopers have a tendency to not be able to hit the side of a barn. But anyways, that's kind of some photo editing and a little bit of video editing at the end there. I thought I'd just share that. I'm going to take this down from the screen. So thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it. Does anybody have anything else they want me to talk about or go over in relation to that kind of editing or anything like that? If not, what I was thinking about doing was I'm just going to tell you guys again, like I had that picture of the Black Knight, and I got a whole bunch of horses. I got 3 horses as part of a lot of Lord of the Rings figures, and I'm probably going to show these off on the live stream this weekend, but this is just one of the 2 boxes, and it's all Lord of the Rings figures. And I haven't gone through and counted them yet, but there's actually some kind of cool ones in there. This is, I guess, the original Groot. And I'm thinking about what I would do with them because, I mean, I think they're kind of cool. And I was thinking about taking some of these figures because of the way they're dressed and making some custom Dungeons and Dragons from that old cartoon. So hopefully I'm gonna get off my butt and do some of that stuff, but I hope you had a good time editing some photos with me. And I hope that you can take some of this and maybe, have fun and do some photo editing yourself if you feel it. And I hope that it was, I guess, educational a little bit, right? And it's not that hard. I mean, and it's super fun to do. It's relaxing. I sit around and I'm editing the videos and stuff, and it's very relaxing to me. Yes, Tree Man from Lord of the Rings. So let's see, Oreos. The lighting makes, yes. Okay, you had fun in class today, Salacious? Great. I would like to see you drawing is what I want to see. And yes, that is Tree Man from Lord of the Rings. I have 2 boxes of Lord of the Rings figures that, remember, I was telling you guys last week on the 3-Minute Monkey Lizard that you're going to have to get out your bottles because I got a whole lot of Goodwill stuff coming. And this is only a portion of it. These are the Lord of the Rings lots that I won. And there's some Marvel Legends ones that I'm also highly anticipated and waiting for, and I'm hoping will be here before the live stream. I think one of them is not going to be here till next week, but yeah, quite a few figures to show off. So it's probably going to be an hour of the show going through the. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, or maybe I'll make a video going through those boxes. But anyways, I appreciate everybody stopping by and checking out this little live stream. I thought it would be kind of different, something different to do. I think I might want to do something like this in the future related to doing maybe stop motion and maybe doing adding effects to like some stop motion videos afterwards. I just got to figure out how to do it. It took me a while to figure out how to like share my iPad screen so that I could show you the apps and stuff that I was working with. And, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by. So thank you, everybody. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. See you later.